there was never any time to eat, like stuff like that. Whereas like your basic human needs just weren't getting fulfilled, and like the influence around you was like, you don't need to eat, like go study, like you don't need to do this, like
and by your peers, not necessarily like
I'm talking like in the business scholarship program. It was so cutthroat.
They say college is the best 4 years of your life, and where you live and who you live with is a big part of what makes it so great. I'm Laura. I talk with students across the country about their college living experiences, the good, the bad, and the memorable, so you can learn from them and truly make these your best 4. This episode is brought to you by Rambler, a student apartment located in North Campus across the street from The Ohio State University. Rambler offers spacious floor plans ranging from studios to 6 bedrooms, perfect if you want to live with all of your friends or if you just want to live alone. Plus, their amenities are designed specifically for the Ohio State student, including not 1, but 2 heated pools, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a dedicated study floor, so you don't have to fight for a spot in Thompson, and my personal favorite, Daydreamer, an on-site coffee shop so you can walk downstairs for your morning coffee. I highly recommend checking out their website, ramblercolumbus.com. They have so many great resources for anything that you need to know about student housing. Plus, you can get your application fee waived by using the code BEST4. Again, your application fee waived by using the code BEST4. That's BESTFOUR. Today, I'm here with Kat. Hi, Kat.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thank you for being on the podcast today.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
I'm so excited to dive in about your living experiences here at Ohio State. So you're originally from Columbus, right?
Yeah, I'm from a suburb called Westerville. It's about like 25 minutes north of campus. So I always say it's Columbus because it basically is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm from like a smaller town.
Yeah, and you're from a big family, right?
Huge family, yeah. And we're all Buckeyes too.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm the middle of 5, so 2 older siblings, 2 younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
I have every combination possible. So I have older sister, older brother, younger sister.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. And you're
like
right in the middle.
Right in the middle, and we're all 2 years apart. So it's like perfectly. Yeah, so it's been great. My siblings, older siblings, first one graduated, but she's in MBA school here, so she's literally still Buckeye with me.
Okay.
And then my brother graduated here last spring.
Okay.
So I had 2 years with him here.
Yeah.
He's in med school now in Cleveland, so just north of Columbus. And then I'm living with my younger sister right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was pretty clear that you were going to go to Ohio State. Would you say that's true?
Oh my gosh, yeah. It was definitely a dream of mine. And my mom also works here. Like, we're a huge Buckeye fan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was
Like in your blood.
oh yeah, I was born to be a Buckeye. Seeing my family and like how they were able to thrive here and how Ohio State provided fantastic like job opportunities, and also like seeing my siblings like character development over time, it just like became so evident to me that like this is where I wanted to be. For me, like having that influence of my siblings,
Yeah.
their friends, and being in that culture, like I just decided from a young age that I wanted to work really hard and get into Ohio State.
Yeah.
Follow my siblings.
So you're going into your freshman year at Ohio State, because you had siblings that went, did you have a lot of knowledge about where to live or like the campus as a whole?
Yeah, great question. Yeah, I think I have. I feel like I've been kind of spoiled in that regard, going to Ohio State, and the way that I've been able to get ahead of things, or like kind of like find my way through like the right path I wanted to take at Ohio State. Like, I've been able to avoid barriers, and also like I don't know, like messing up more, or like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me, they really were so impactful with the way they, you know, helped me understand the opportunities were and how they were connected to like living arrangements as well, like scholars programs, the honors program. Because I like literally, for any incoming students or any younger students, Ohio State does not tell you anything. Like, the portal's going to open right before school starts.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, find a roommate. You have to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You have to ask around. And I just feel so bad for the students who have no idea about campus, because like, you don't know what to pick. And also you don't know what they're going to give you. And I feel like what they give you is like based off that is going to determine how you need to pack, how you need to adjust, like how you need to prepare. And I was spoiled in that regard. Like, my siblings were like, pick this scholars program because you get the best dorm. Like, they really talked me through it. So
Yeah. Do you find that that's like kind of frustrating, or I don't know. It's such an interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's just the college experience, you know, like, it's the unknown. Like, you don't know what you're going to get. I think like if you're someone who wants to get ahead of it, and like for me, I'm always the person who's like, tell me how to get around it. I'll do it. Like, tell me how I can like get what I want, like achieve what I want. I I think it's frustrating for students because I know a lot of people who have, there are great people, really hardworking, super clean people, and then they get randomly paired with a crappy roommate or get a bad dorm, and they're like, well, crap, I was so excited to go to the Ohio State, get a crappy dorm, no AC, there are those types of places here. So, I mean, it's definitely frustrating, and I wish there was more of a way to explain, what are the opportunities here? How can I get free housing? How can I do this? How can I do that? But you just have to dive into it. You just really know.
Yeah. So you mentioned some workarounds, and one of those was being kind of getting into a scholars program. So can you tell me about the scholars program that you joined?
So I'm in the business scholars program.
Okay.
So how the scholars programs work here, there's 12 of them. I mean, I don't know if that's updated now, but there was 12 of them when I applied.
Yeah.
The popular ones are business scholars, Mount leadership scholars, which my brother was in. There's a law one. There is a health science one. There's tons of them. In every major, I would say. Engineer.
Right.
And so how that works is it's called a living community in Ohio State. So I think you can choose to live with them or not live with them, but it's highly encouraged you live with them.
Yeah.
So typically there'll be 60 students per scholars program.
Okay.
Total or
total.
Okay. So half girls, typically half guys.
Right.
And
is that pretty competitive to get into?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's everybody wants to get in them because you get the best dorms. Okay. And you get you study with these kids, it's basically coming into college with a friend group. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have support and you know everyone on your floor. So in these scholars programs, you apply when you apply to Ohio State, I believe. And you have to write a separate essay, pick what you want, and rank your top 3.
Okay.
And I put business scholars as my top one because I knew I wanted to be a businesswoman. That's what I wanted to study.
Yeah.
I was excited about it. And also, it had the best dorm.
Okay.
It had Blackburn House, which I lived in freshman year.
Yes.
So that was definitely a big driver for me, was okay, obviously this is my dream scholars program, but it's also my dream dorm.
Right.
And so in applying to that, you apply then, and then once you come to Ohio State, honestly, I think it was a month beforehand. They're like, hey, you can only live with another business scholar, and we get the top floor Blackburn. Every year, if you are a student on campus and you're like, oh, I live in Blackburn, someone's going to be like, oh, are you a business scholar?
Right.
That's the culture here.
Are there other people that live in Blackburn that aren't business scholars?
Yes.
Okay.
So there's other communities. There's the moral scholars, and typically Blackburn, I would say is
all scholars though.
No.
Okay.
No. Scholars programs claim dorms.
Okay.
So if you say you're in Bowen dorm, which is right on the corner of Lane and High, if you guys know Ohio State's campus, that is Mount leadership scholars.
Okay.
And so
you said something about Bowen. You said it was kind of culty.
Yeah. I'm sorry for any Mounties that are watching this, but yeah, Mount leaders are I would say it's the scholars program that's extremely social. So what it is
Mount leaders?
So it's basically it's not it's Mount is super diverse in the way that it's not major based. It's all over the map. My brother was a biochem major and he got it. But you do 100 hours of service. You're just a wholesome person, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's
you're a leader.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I don't even know how to explain it. It's just a random group of people, but they're all just really fun, outgoing people.
Okay.
Passionate about Ohio State, and you do a lot of team bonding and stuff.
Right.
They are Bowen. That's their thing. They're in front, and they have parties. They're not the business scholars would never do that. We are we go to school, we do our shit, we leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
For Mount, it's they're friends throughout all 4 years of college.
Right.
They all live together. There's Mount parties. It's more of a social culture. But yeah, they it's just so unique between all the scholars programs how the health science ones will be in Park Strad. You just kind of know. You start picking things up.
Yeah.
And you meet so many people and you know where each scholars program is based. And for the honors students, that's a whole nother program.
Right.
You take honors classes coming into Ohio State. They're in another specific house. I think it's Taylor.
Okay.
So it's different for each one.
Yeah. So you would say maybe joining a scholars program or honors, if you want to do that, might be a good way to get into
100%.
A nicer dorm.
Oh my gosh, yeah, definitely. And even besides that, there are fantastic opportunities at Ohio State.
Right.
The scholars programs, you have friends, you get set apart. For me in the business one, they prepared us so well. We did resume workshops, like LinkedIn, like case competitions, all that from the start, like literally as a freshman.
Yeah.
So I got a lot of great experience before, like, you know, like figuring my life out, like internships and stuff. But it was great. And like literally lived in the best dorm. I lived with my roommate. I got really lucky because like I told you like before, you have like between 30 girls to choose from to live with.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's a PowerPoint, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me about the PowerPoint.
They were like, all right, guys, you get to choose between 30 people.
Yeah.
Like, make up here. Like, here's what they gave us, like they sent out like a mass, like text or whatever, like group me or whatever. They're like, here's this PowerPoint, fill out like fun facts. Like, they weren't even like, what are your roommate preferences? They were just like, who are you as a person? Like, throw some cute pictures in there and find a roommate. Like, reach out on your own. You like put your Instagram handle and like your number. It was so unorganized. And from there, you had to like basically select who you wanted.
Yeah.
And like email them, reach out, like Snapchat.
It's like a dating app.
No, literally. I was like, wait, what?
Dating app for like roommates.
So this is how I need to determine how I'm going to like spend the rest of my like college is like based off this little PowerPoint. So
I feel like it's a little bit better than like what people outside of the scholarship program have to do, right? Because you are just on like, you're on the Instagrams, you're on the Facebook groups or like.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of similar, but I think what was different about my situation was that there was literally 30 girls to choose from. Like,
true, yeah.
You can go on Facebook and you can find girls' Instagrams, and I could feel like you could kind of like get an understanding of them, and like you had a way bigger pool to choose from. Like 30, like what are the odds 1 out of like 30 people are going to be similar to you? I feel like it's not as big as like the rest of the undergrad student population at Ohio State.
Yeah.
But it also kind of like cut out my work for me because I didn't have the pressure of like finding like world's best roommate. Like it was just like I had what I had. I made my choice, and it kind of like, I don't know, there was something peaceful about it. Like just like choose the person.
Yeah. And you said to me in the past that it's sometimes better to not live with your close friends.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So I feel like I've lived college a little differently than most people who, you know, you meet your best friends in college and you live with them, right? Like that's like typically what people do. But I think me, obviously big family. Family's everything to me. I knew I wanted to live with my younger sister when she came in. And like in that like how I made that decision was that I felt like living with the girl I lived with the first 2 years, couldn't say a bad thing about her. Like fantastic roommate. But there was something about like not living with your best friends that I felt was like the most healthy decision for me in my relationships. And I don't even have the words to explain how awesome it's been, like having somewhere I can go and like pull back from my social life and just get to rest with like roommates who are not in my close circles, are not in my classes. Like, and it's so awesome because like, it's a whole nother world. I get to go home. Like every time I open my door, I'm with like my younger sister and like one of our other close friends from high school. Like there are no ties to Ohio State that how we know each other.
Right.
But it's like after a long day and like I'm socially exhausted, like classes have been hard. Like I get to just pull back and go and like have my alone time with them and like get to refresh. But like also my best friends in college are like 30 seconds away from me, like down the street. Whenever I want, I can hang out with them, like pick them up. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds, where it's like I have these different like worlds at Ohio State, and through that it's like a good balance of like too much, too less of like the college.
Yeah. No, I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I would agree with that. So going back to living at Blackburn House, tell me about that.
Yeah. So Blackburn's really nice. What makes it really nice
Where is Blackburn?
Okay, sorry. Like Central North Campus. It's on Woodruff. It's across from the Scott House. So for any future students, like the Scott, like you'll hear about Scott. Scott Traditions is like the best dining hall. Some people argue on campus, some people argue on North Campus, but it's in the central area of like the place to live where there's like the bell tower, there's the North Rec, which is the gym, there's the dining hall right there. And like Fisher is quite literally right behind it.
Right.
So I actually lived in Scott also, which was across from Blackburn on top of the dining hall my second year. So I always wanted to live there. It's like you're in the hub, like the business scholars are there. Like there's some athletes that live in that area too. You're like central to everything. And for me, that was like a selling point was that nicest dorm. They're like higher ceilings, air conditioning. Like I feel like it was just like a cool place to live.
Because some dorms don't have air conditioning.
Oh no. Yeah. there's some rough, you'll hear some rough stories about that on Ohio State's campus. Like, you would think that, like, the Ohio State University could get some air conditioning in their dorms. No. But Blackburn was so nice, and the people are cool in there. The RAs were so nice. It was very new. Like, there's, like, they built, like, a garage on the bottom where you can just, like, go in there and study, and you can, like, they lift up the doors. It just looked like a vibe, and I was excited about it.
But you enjoyed your time at Blackburn House.
Yeah.
What's the culture like there?
The culture?
Yeah.
Culture shock to business scholars, because all these kids, like, their parents are like CEOs, like,
Right.
I mean, they know exactly what they want in life. They already have their internships planned out, and I was like, oh yeah, for sure, like,
Me too.
yeah. So it's a big work hard, play hard environment, but living with them was crazy. Like, it was so cutthroat. It was. I mean, I guess I should have expected that, but I thought, like, college, like, we're all in this together. No, like, girls would, like, get feisty, like, comparing accounting answers, like, kids, like, talking about, like, the way the money was just thrown around and talked about, and, like, it was just, like, so not what I was used to, and I guess that's okay, and it's motivating for a lot of people, but for me, I was like, whoa, like, this is college, like,
Like, we're also here to, like, have fun.
yeah, like, almost like a work-life balance of college. Yeah, that didn't exist. Like, I hope I'm, like, setting this up well, but if you can picture it, like, these girls were, like, literally, at what age were you when you come into college? Like 18 or 19? Like, planned out their whole life and, like, knew what they wanted to do, and were so, like, wanted to work for money.
Yeah.
Like, and we're so obsessed with, like, I mean, like, no one slept. Like, anxiety about, like, sleep, grades, like, almost, like, just that culture of, like, which I guess, like, is, like, I mean, like, some people go to hard schools and, like, Ivy Leagues and, like, hard business schools to have that environment, to be, like, pushed to work hard. But I just think, like, that lifestyle wasn't sustainable for a lot of people, and I think that's how a lot of people either kind of fell off or are at the point now where they have burnout. That was a huge culture for us, was burnout. Girls would peak of, like, anxiety of just, like, the whole job and recruiting process. Like, we have investment bankers, we have consultants. So, I mean, these kids are, like, having to network, like, 20 hours a week, trying to get jobs. And, like, it's just not sustainable, in my opinion. There was never any time to eat, like, stuff like that. Whereas, like, your basic human needs just weren't getting fulfilled. And, like, the influence around you was, like, you don't need to eat. Like, go study. Like, you don't need to do this. Like, and
By your peers, not necessarily, like,
I'm talking, like, in the business scholars program. It was definitely a unique culture that I know is not the case in other scholars programs. So it's definitely a little bit more cutthroat. But if you want to, like, work your butt off and, like, have that influence around you of, like, getting those accounting grades, like, doing, like, all that culture, like, great for you. Like, that's awesome.
So that culture kind of, like, bled into Blackburn House, would you say, like, your living experience?
No, I think Blackburn is sick. Like, I'm more catering, like, talking to, like, students who want to be in the business scholars program. Blackburn is freaking awesome. Like, if you get, like, a good lottery number, which we can talk about the lottery, you pick Blackburn, or you pick, like, the nice dorms on North Campus, because you're, like, they're so new, they're so nice. Like, you're right by the library, you're right by the business school, you're right by the dining halls, and, like, literally the two best dining halls are right, like, behind in front of you, and the gym's right there. So Blackburn's fantastic. Like, couldn't say anything bad about it. Like, the laundry machines worked. The showers were
Is that, like, a problem in some of the other dorms?
Gosh, yeah.
It's interesting that you say, like, if you get a good lottery number, go to, like, Blackburn or some of the, like, other dorms north, because I've heard from other people it's good to live south.
Yeah. See, this is where the opinions come in about.
Yeah. Right.
For me, I'm always north. I mean, I like to go to the RPAC. I like to go south. Most of my friends for a long time of college lived on south. Like, my best friend sophomore year lived in Park Strat on south. So I've seen the good and the bads of it. There's definitely reputation. So it's, like, the type of person you are. Like, I wish you could do, like, a personality test to be like, where should I live on campus? But south is, like,
we can make that.
South is more, we should, really. There's so much lore behind it all. Like, North Campus is, like, studious people who also, like, have their life together. Like, they're Fisher. They want, like, structure, organization. Like, they're not really, like, they'll do a business frat and, like, they're heavily involved on campus, but they're not really in Greek life, I would say. They're in the nice dorms. Like, they're kind of spoiled from a young age in campus. And, like, it's more safe on North, in my opinion. Don't know if that's, like, the collective thought.
Right.
South is, like, athletes, medical. It's less crowded. It's more spread out. The dorms they're not new like the North Campus ones, but they're also like classic traditional like campus core.
Yeah.
So like Parkstrat and Smith Steve are like the two huge ones. I don't know if you've seen on South. Those are like the classic ones. Typically only sophomores get in those.
Okay.
But also there's some scholars programs. And also if you get a good lottery number, or I think freshmen, how they plant freshmen in dorms, I think somewhat like grades or like something factors into that of like how you get in that.
Yeah, because I've heard I know a freshman that got into Parkstrad.
Yeah, I hear that too. And I'm like, part of me is like
Siebert.
Yeah, that's next to that. I feel like I'm still learning throughout like these 4 years of like how it works, but
Yeah.
I think there's something to be said about it's not completely randomized.
Okay.
But don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
I think like I know if you're like, for example, I'm a scholar student, so I get priority in scheduling, priority in a lot of things. Like I get like the better professors, the better times. I think I get the better dorms too. I think grade point plays in a little bit.
Okay,
too.
interesting.
Yeah.
So, okay, going your sophomore year, you lived at Scott House.
Yeah.
Scott House?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then did you have to do the lottery for that, or you were still placed there because you were in the scholars program? How did that work?
Yeah, I did the lottery, but I feel like
Okay, tell me about the lottery.
the lottery. Okay, so the culture at a high
Is the lottery only for sophomores, or is it also for freshmen? Freshmen, you kind of just get
I
placed,
think
right?
you get placed. Yeah. So the lottery is for us.
Yes, sophomores.
Sophomores.
Yeah, or a junior if you want to stay in.
No,
the dorm.
you can't.
It's
You gotta
only
go.
for some.
Yeah. I don't know if I said that. Yeah, you gotta
get out.
You're gone. Like,
Okay.
they're really strict about it. So you have to move off campus by junior year. We don't house you. So the lottery is
Tell me the whole process.
It's a portal. It's like beginning of freshman year. You put in your preferences. So we tagged each other
for the lottery.
Yeah. We were like, we want to live with each other. You can rank like, you can also put like 8 people down if you want like to go for a quad, or if you want to go for like a suite. Because we have really nice suites at Ohio State.
Okay.
Especially on North Campus.
Are suites only available to sophomores?
I would say, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be very rare if I heard. Like, even in Blackburn, if you, like, the best situation, in my opinion, and, like, also what I've gathered is, like, if you have a suite in Blackburn, your lottery number was, like, top, like, 100.
Yeah.
Like, those are gone, like, within an hour.
Okay.
Like, you want that. You want the suites on North Campus because there's, like, common spaces. You have, like, kitchens in there. Like, it's really nice. They'll give you, like, couches and stuff. Those are sophomores. I've never heard of a freshman getting those. Because like in my scholars program, we, like I said, Blackburn top floor, we all had doubles, like the basic dorm room. But on the ends of our halls, there were like these like huge suites with like 8 girls in there, and they were like random majors from like all over campus and like sophomores. But a lot of people I know would like try to pack it, like fill their like portal, because whoever has the best lottery number gets to pick the dorm. So say out of the group of 8, I get like the best number. Say I get like, I don't know, like 400 and something. I can go on my portal and I can see what's available. You scroll through and it's like Scott House, double, Blackburn, like quad. And like you get to see all the different combinations, and it's kind of really overwhelming.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Because there might not be the best decision, and you have to think quickly. Like it's going. Like you have to like, I would say mentally prepare before you're going into the housing portal what you want. Like you have to get together with your roommates, rank your dorms, rank your combinations, what you want, be prepared to split up, who's going to go where.
Yeah. Jeez.
Oh, it's intense. Yeah. Because like it's Ohio State. Like we just like, I don't know, kids are just competitive.
And like as you're like trying to get the spots, like they start like disappearing, and you're like, please.
Yeah.
No, I
you have to like
your
fresh the
tears.
page and everything.
Yeah.
And you have to like add to cart quickly. It's a whole it's a whole thing.
Do they hold it for you? Like
I think they hold it for you for like a minute or
two. Okay.
Yeah, no, it's like not a long time.
Jeez.
But I mean, it was kind of exciting for me because I was like, I have options. Like I get to pick. Like Bowen was open. Like
what was your lottery?
My lottery number was like 1,000 and something.
I mean, that to me sounds like really low, but that's
no. I honestly, to me, when I saw that, I was like,
how many students, how many sophomores like are living on campus? I guess if you had it ballpark.
I think the worst lottery number. Honestly, I think I remember it. It was like 8,000 and something.
Was like the worst lottery.
I'm not sure though. I could be so wrong because I just want to preface that. But when I got on at like 1,000, there was like nice stuff left.
Okay.
I think it was even like 1,000 and like 300 or something.
Okay.
Like, I think I got it before my roommate. And there was like Bowen, Scott, Blackburn, like all the nice ones. But for me, the decision was between a nice dorm and a double, or I could get like a kind of crappier dorm, but like have like a suite.
Okay.
And I really had to debate that, and I was like, all right, like I knew girls that would be down to like do the suites with me, but also
Do you get your own room in a suite, or is it still kind of a double, but you have like that like
double.
Okay. So either way, somebody was going to be in your room with you.
I mean, you can move the beds around or like whatever, but like yeah.
But you have like that common area.
Yeah, and like some suites in some of the dorms, like the middle class ones, like Drackett and Taylor, they're older ones, but they're like still fun and nice. They're like they're fun atmosphere. Like honor students are, and I think Taylor, like it's fun atmosphere. But the thing about the older dorms, like the middle class dorms, are the bunk beds.
Okay.
So like you could be in a room, a suite, and it's like double bunks. Like
yeah, a lot. It's
like camp.
Camp. Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, no, literally camp. But I didn't want that.
Yeah,
I didn't want that. I wanted I was like, I'll live with one person and like have a nicer dorm.
And you ended up at Scott then. So yeah, that was your decision.
So, yeah.
Did you like it? How was that?
Scott House was great. So Scott's reputation is kind of, it's like mature, like sophomores, and also like baseball.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I lived on the foreign exchange floor. I got floor 4, which was like cool, but also
fun. Did you meet like cool people?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I feel like the foreign exchange kids here are a little more shy, and they're a little.
Yeah.
I mean, like you know, they kind of hang around their own people. But like, I'm an international business major. Like, I love that. Like, I want to be surrounded by people from all different countries, like all different types. Like, that's like my jam. So it was fun for me because like we'd have like meetings, and then like all these girls would just introduce themselves, like say all the different like languages and the places they've been. And I was like, wait, you guys are so cool. But also with like living in Scott, there's different like vibes to the different floors. So like I said, like my floor was a foreign exchange floor. Second floor is like the known baseball players. Like we had a Brutus who lived in our floor. So like,
what's that?
Our like mascot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Brutus Buckeye.
Yes.
So,
but so he was the guy in the mascot suit.
There's like a couple of them on campus.
Okay.
But they don't break character. So, like, what I mean by that is, like, the second they leave, if they need to be somewhere to be Brutus, like, they're walking out with their head on and they're in character.
Okay.
Or I don't know if that was just, like, the Brutus we had.
Like, in the full suit?
Oh, he'd come out the elevator, like, full guns a-blazing, like, cheering and, like, and we'd all be like, it was kind of fun, like, living in Scott.
Like 7 8.
Yeah, and there's, like, a lot of, like, so in Blackburn, there was, like, no athletes there, right? It was just, like, okay, business students and, like, moral scholar students. I'm also a moral scholar, so, like,
What's a moral scholar? Okay, so you're in 2 scholar programs?
Yes. I should have said that. They're both in Blackburn. That's, like, the vibe there.
Okay.
Moral scholars is, like, it's through the Office of Diversity and Inclusion. It's, like, a scholarship program where you, like, there's 3 tiers of, like, the scholarship. Anyway, the moral scholars lived there. So the vibe of Blackburn was super mixed, which is why I loved it, because it was like the really studious Blackburn kids. And then there was also like the fun, outgoing moral scholars who were like from everywhere, different like states, different majors. Like I just liked that.
Yeah.
And Scott was like foreign exchange students, and then like the mature kids, because it's all sophomores, and then like athlete backpacks everywhere. Like baseball kids. We had Brutus. Like So it was like, it was a cool mix. I liked it.
A little bit more fun, would you say? Or
oh my gosh, yeah. I wanted to say this. Like, the difference between living in Blackburn versus living in Scott was like so crucial for me. Like, it's exactly what I needed. Like, I wanted the college experience, the dorm life. It definitely was still not like our whole floor was partying and hanging out together, like, because there was a foreign exchange floor, right? Like, so everyone was more reserved and kept to themselves. But I'm kind of that person, so I liked it.
Yeah.
But it was also still so much fun because, I don't know, like the group there was just like, everyone just seemed like they like had their stuff together and like hardworking, but they weren't like the Blackburn. Like,
would you guys like go out or like?
No, only me and my roommate would.
So you lived in Scott House. Let's go to your junior year where you now live in an apartment, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I live in an apartment on North Campus on Frambies.
Okay.
So it's like all the dorms, High Street. On the other side of High Street, there's like the 3 or 4 main streets of all North housing. It goes Lane to, oh my gosh, I'm probably gonna mess this up. Lane, Frambies, Woodruff, 18th, I think.
Okay.
Those are like the places to live. Like those streets are like, you have annexes, like passed down houses of like business frats. Like you've got even a little bit of Greek life mixed in there, like scholars' houses. Like that's the place to be. And I think like it's just such a different vibe from South. Like the houses are close together. It's more like college campusy. It's not as like frat house. Like it's not like that at all. Cobblestone streets. Like it's very like that's the vibe.
Yeah.
And it's like super close to the shoe. It's just super close, which is our stadium.
Yeah.
Super close to the business school. Super close to like all the North bars. It's just like if you've always been a North rat, like you're just gonna live there.
Yeah.
But it's kind of hard to get housing there. I would say like you gotta like know people.
So how'd you get your apartment?
I got lucky because I only have 2 roommates. So it's like we were looking for a 3-bedroom. And we were kind of late to the game because I like didn't know where I wanted to live my junior year. I was like so open about it. I was like, I'll just see like what happens. But I told you in the beginning, I lived with my younger sister.
Yeah.
So with having 3 people, there is not a lot of people with 3 people. So there was a lot of more availability. Does that make sense? Like,
but your sister, how old is your sister? What year is she?
She's a sophomore, but she was a freshman at the time.
Okay.
And she claimed she was commuting.
Got it. I was like, wait, how did she get into
here, right? So yeah, it's like, that's the loophole.
So why did you want to live in an apartment versus a house? I feel like there's a big house culture here.
Huge house culture. So for me, I didn't want to live with a bunch of people. I didn't want to like, I want to have a bunch of friends around me who live in houses that I can go like and hang out with and like get that experience. But I wanted my own private space. Like I wanted somewhere to retreat and like be able to have my own room, like clean house, clean kitchen, like do my own thing. And then also like if I want to go to a house, I'll just go to my neighbor's house who I'm friends with.
Yeah.
North Campus and you know everyone.
Right.
Hang out on their porch, go to their parties. Like I don't want to clean up everyone's mess.
Valid.
You know, that's just real. That was my case. There's just like more like liability and risk with like you're operating full house. Like there's things you need to think about.
Yeah.
Like an apartment where they're still like taking care of you and stuff.
Right.
So when I went to go find a place, there were so many open spots on North because it was a 3-person.
Right.
We got lucky. So we got a 4-bedroom, but the 4th bedroom is so small that they counted it as a 3-person.
Okay.
So we have like a big apartment and there's 4 bedrooms, but we're paying the rent for 3 people. But what was like the lure for me about like an apartment was cheaper. I'm not living in like a nice apartment, but it's like pretty nice.
Yeah.
And it's like cheap rent. I'm like in the best location. But the only difference is like I don't have a house. I don't have a porch. I don't have like hosting culture. But
yeah, but that wasn't necessarily a priority for you, right? Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So what would you say like the pros of living in an apartment would be versus living in a house?
I mean, like it's hard for me because my apartment, it's like a house, but it's like split up into 3 floors. It's like, there's a staircase. You go up to each of different level, but there's literally only 3 units in the whole thing. Like there's definitely different scales to it. Like other apartment complexes, like you have the nice ones on campus where you're literally on High Street and you have like a movie theater, a gym, a pool. Like you have all these awesome amenities, but also like you're on High Street and it's like loud as hell.
Yeah.
And you can hear the bar noise.
Right.
Or there's like me where you're tucked in campus, but you have cheaper rent. You have privacy.
Yeah.
You're minding your own. You don't have to live with a bunch of people. It's kind of like a dorm room off campus.
Right. Yeah.
You have your own room. It's nice. I like it. And you have like your own parking pass in the back. I literally resigned for my 4th year because I loved it so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
you love it. That was my next question.
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. I love it so much because I'm on the fun street. Like game days are so fun on North. Like highly encourage anybody. If you're going to be a business student or you're just like a really driven person, live on North, live on Lane, Woodruff, Frambees, like get ahead of the game because those houses fly and nobody puts them on the market. They pass them down.
Okay.
So there's a huge culture at Ohio State. I'm probably assuming in other universities where literally like the first week of school, you're going down houses, knocking on the door, asking if they're resigning.
Yeah.
And it's such a culture that like people put signs up the first month of school on their door that say, we are resigning. Like, don't bother us. Like no soliciting.
Yeah.
Because that's how competitive it is.
Yeah.
Literally freshmen go down, knock on houses being like, I guess sophomores because they're going to be moving. Asking like, hey, like, are you guys resigning? Because like, we'll sign it. And you like coordinate. It's like a stat. It's like literally so savage. Like, but that's how you got to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like walking with my sister right now through this entire process because she's going to be a junior. And she's like, I don't know what to do. Like, no one's instructed. Like, I don't know what to do. And I luckily,
she's going to be a junior this year. Next
yeah,
year.
she's in a sorority too. So she's on her own path. And I'm like, I'll help you out. Like, I've texted everyone and their moms I know. I'm like, are you passing your house down? Like, do you know anybody that can give her a house?
Yeah.
Like, anything like that. It's just tough because like it's all unspoken.
Right.
Like you're on your own and you got to go out there. You got to text people. You got to be like, are you resigning? Like calling like leasing office, like figuring it out.
Yeah.
It's hard. Like North Campus is more exclusive in the sense, like, these business frats are passing down their houses. Like, it's just how it goes. Where it's, like, on South Campus, like, yeah, there's, like, annexes and stuff, and, like, there's Greek life, but it's so much bigger than North Campus because we're just, like, a corner nook.
Right. So, looking back, is there anything that you think you would have done differently?
I just wished I would have just, like, given myself more grace. Like, I felt like I was so, like, caught up in it. Like, I need the best dorm, I need the best this, the best classes, and, like, even like coming in with business scholars and like that like kind of mindset of like I want to attack college, I want to get the best out of it. Like I wish I would have just slowed down more and just like had more of a work-life balance and like been understood that like GPA necessarily isn't everything. Like I've really adjusted my approach to college like as I've gone on, and like I've really like humanized like the whole process of like you're still learning, you're still growing. Like you don't need to have everything figured out, even with housing. Like give yourself grace, give yourself time, and like use your resources. And like what I believe the best resources are at a college are people. Like talking to people you know who have gone here, like reaching out to upperclassmen. Like I felt like whenever I was like meeting someone on the Oval or like in a class, like I was always just talking to them about things. Like just talk to people in your classes, talk to people in your dorm, like just meet as many people. There's so much knowledge in that, and like you really can become when you talk more, you figure out who you are because you're answering and you're like understanding who you are. Also, you're like seeing the different dynamics on campus. And like for me coming in, I wish I would have been more open-minded in that sense and like given myself time, because I didn't realize how many different types of lifestyles and approaches to college there are. Like I thought I was just like college, get your degree and go, but like there's so many ways to live college. Like you can do Greek life, you can do business frat, you can be the involved kid, you can be the off-campus kid, there's so many ways to do campus. Like don't come in thinking you know who you are. Like come in and like figure out who you are. Like that's what
Is there anything else, like if you could give a piece of advice to an incoming freshman regarding housing?
Be organized. Be organized, because that's the best gift and best discipline you can develop from a young age, because it's never going to end. The second you get in college, you need to be disciplined for the rest of your life to get good things. Like you need to be prepared. I'm not trying to freak anybody out, but you need to be prepared for these housing portals to open. You need to know what you want. Like when this stuff happens, when scholarship applications come out, when these, you know, it's time to rush or recruit for something, like, which you will do in college. That's how you get involved. You have to rush or recruit for everything. It's not like free entry to anything. Know who you are, be organized. So like when housing rolls around, you're like, oh yeah, I talked to a couple people before. I kind of have a sense of what I need to do. You have a steps listed out. You're going to go to the leasing office. You're going to reach out to these 5 seniors and ask if they're passing down. Like have an idea of like structure, have an approach to like how you want to go about it, because there's way more housing options than you think there are on campus, and don't rob yourself of getting to explore that. So, I mean, it's not a stressful thing. Like college is like fun, but the way to have fun in college is to be organized, because like, you're never stressed and you can just live with your head in the clouds. Prepared.
Absolutely. And then would you say that these are shaping up to be the best 4 years of your life?
It's been so much fun. Like Ohio State's great. I think 100%. Like I obviously don't want to say I'm going to peak in college. Like I hope I'm not, but so much fun. Like especially each year has gotten better for me. And I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, like my sophomore year was the best or my senior year was the best. I'm like, I hope this isn't the best year of my life, but it's getting up there so far. It's like, I just want to keep going up. I was a different version of myself every year, and each new version was so sick. Like, it's just life. It's fun.
Well, thank you so much for being on the podcast today. This was amazing. So much good information, and I really appreciate you sharing all your experiences.
I'm so happy I could help. I mean, college is like you said, the best 4 years. It's so impactful to like hear from people and like absorb that knowledge. And I'm more than happy to like be here and be able to like help people.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see you guys next time. Bye.
Thank you so much for listening, y'all. If you like this episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. It helps us out a lot. For more info and to learn about our partners, visit thebest4pod.com. Make sure to follow us on TikTok and Instagram at thebest4pod. We'll see you next time.